It's all hard to juggle being at home with kids, being a wife, and running a business out of my home. Everybody has their own version of hard. I cannot focus on more than 3 big buckets in my life. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. You know, at this time I have to do this, otherwise I'm a piece of shit. There is a level of flexibility that comes with being a mom. I get frustrated, I do. I have to get the top 3 done. Say every day is a reset. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new opportunity to try to maneuver around the conditions that your environment has put you in, or that you put yourself in through your environment. I didn't think babies were going to be that hard. I had never had kids. I was the youngest child. I had never even changed a diaper before. I had no idea what I was doing as a mom. Having a baby is almost like having care over a mental health patient on suicide watch. Obviously, I'm trying to be funny and it's a joke, so relax. And if all of your intentions are aligned and everything is planned out, things still go wrong. So today I want to go over what I've done to juggle being at home with kids, being a wife, and running a business out of my home. First off, it's all hard. I think it's all hard. Whether you work at home or you work in an office, everybody has their own version of hard. And my version of hard right now is juggling the mom role, running a business, and having time for my brain to think, I guess. And my rule right now is that I cannot focus on more than 3 big buckets in my life. Right now I'm focusing on my health, my family, and my business. Those are the 3. And because of that, my friend life is very minimal. And I can talk about that in a different video, but today I want to focus on what it looks like when you're a mom, or at least when I became a mom, and now that I work from home, and what I do to get things done. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. It takes a lot of, for me, it takes a lot of mental fortitude and flexibility. So rather than so what I used to do is time block, which still works. I still use that strategy from time to time. And I went through a period where I was very rigid. You know, at this time I have to do this, otherwise I'm a piece of shit. And when babies came into the fold, that had to go out the window. Otherwise I would just end up hating myself in my life. There's a level of flexibility that comes with being a mom, and I get frustrated, I do. And sometimes I look at a day and I go, okay, these are the 10 things I wanted to get done, and I have to get the top 3 done, absolutely, within a certain amount of, but by the end of the day or something like that. And sometimes I just have to scrap those 7 things and just focus on the 3 most important things, or the number 1 most important thing. And I say every day is a reset. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new opportunity to try to maneuver around the conditions that your environment has put you in, or that you put yourself in through your environment. And so that's very cryptic, and I apologize. But for example, planning. So originally when I worked from home, it was part-time. I worked full-time obviously, but I would go into the office, I think twice a week, sometimes even just once a week. And the rest of the time I would work from home. And my naive brain at the time, I'd never had kids. I was the youngest child. I had never even changed a diaper before. I had no idea what I was doing as a mom. I didn't think babies were going to be that hard. And it sounds very silly right now as I say that, but it's true. At the time, I had underestimated the amount of time that goes into a baby and the different stages of a baby and what they do and what you need to do as a parent to make sure they don't die from a day-to-day basis. And even now I kind of say having a baby is almost like having care over a mental health patient on suicide watch. Like they're just constantly trying to kill themselves and you're just trying to keep them alive for another day. It's like at some point between the crawling phase and like 2.5, it's just, you know, if there was a cliff, they'd just go running off the cliff. If there's a pool, they're gonna crawl into the pool and drown. If there's stairs, you know, that are steep and have tile all over the place and jagged edges, they're gonna go tumbling down it. Anyway, so there are very important reasons why why babies take so much attention, because otherwise they probably wouldn't survive. And I honestly don't even understand how as many kids survive as they do. Like, I feel like some days I can barely keep my kids alive, and then I look around and I go, wow, like so many of them obviously make it past 5. It's just a miracle. And I also think to myself that, I mean, drug addicts and heroin addicts and people that are using and less responsible than me, like their kids somehow survive and make it past 5. And, you know, obviously I'm trying to be funny and it's a joke, so relax. Anywho, so as a new mom, I had underestimated how much time a baby would be. Like, oh, they just sleep all the time, like no big deal. And I'll just work from home with my baby. And I know some people can do that, and I don't think it can be done well. Maybe if you have a very unique child that is particularly not active or engaged, and maybe if you just pop them in front of the TV all the time, I could see how maybe that works. And I'm not gonna say I haven't done that. But with babies, like, yeah, some people put them in front of the TV, but there's lots and lots of studies that show you really shouldn't give them like too much screen time or tablets or TVs, especially before the age of 2. So that's certainly not a strategy that I have used. So here I was thinking that, oh, babies sleep all the time, and oh, while they sleep, that's when I'll work. Or when she sleeps, that's when I'll work, and no big deal, right? My babies have always been very inconsistent with naps. They would go to Nana's house, Ava would go, my daughter would go to Nana's house and nap, and then she'd come home and be all fired up until 9 or 10 at night, and I couldn't get her down. I'm sitting there, what's going on? Why is this happening? And it was just this cycle of my mom, Nana, would watch her, I think, twice a week, which was great. Thank God for Nana. I don't think I would have gotten through that very well in my life if I wouldn't have had that. And I guess like I said, I just thought it would be easier than it was. And the days that I did work from home, I thought, oh, she'll nap, and she'll nap at the same time she does for my mom, and it'll be great. And I would go through days where there was literally no nap, and I'm going, oh my gosh, how can a baby not nap? Isn't that what babies do? Or I would throw her in the car and drive around until she'd fall asleep and think, okay, I can get some work done while she's asleep in the car. And so you have to sit in the car and have your laptop and work from your laptop while they're sleeping, because God forbid you move them out of the car and they wake up. So I find myself like driving around, you know, on my laptop or trying to get a phone call in and can't talk in the phone. Like you can't. There's often situations where I don't want to be on a phone call, but I can't talk on the phone inside the car because it'll wake the baby. And so I'm outside of the car hoping that Bluetooth doesn't keep transferring it into the car, which of course it would. And it's like super loud in there. And I'm like, transferring it back and potentially wake the baby up, or did wake the baby up several times. So there's all these circumstances that happen when you're trying to juggle, and even if all of your intentions are aligned and everything is planned out, things still go wrong. So my first one, my mistake was not hiring anyone to help me. And looking back, I wish I would have had a sitter or a nanny come over to fill in at least, I think 4 hours. That's kind of what I do now, is I get a nanny or a babysitter. I guess they're technically babysitters because I haven't signed any contracts or anything with a nanny. Come over for about 4 hours with the baby, and I wake up early to do the rest of my work. So for instance, like today, I woke up at 3:30 in the morning to get through to write. I need this time to write and organize my thoughts and plan out my week and plan for people that I work with and people who work for me, and be able to delegate out what I can, figure out what I can delegate and what I need to do. And also plan for the sitter to come over and make sure that she can be here when I need to go somewhere, or when I need to be on a Zoom call, or I have a meeting, and make sure all of those things line up. So I need quiet time in order to do that, and uninterrupted time. So the way I do that, and my brain works best first thing in the morning, so I'll get up, get a cup of coffee. I don't always wake up at 3:30. There has been periods in my life, and it'll probably be during the winter. For some reason, during the winter, I can get up earlier and do it more sustainably, where this time of year during the summer or the warmer months, I tend to want to get up with the sun and go to sleep with the sun. But, and I also think it's because I have like broken sleep. So right now I have an 8-month-old baby, so I'm going through this again. So currently my daughter is 6 years old. She's going to be turning 7 soon. She's in first grade, and I'm looking back at the way I did it the first time with my daughter. And like I said, I had my mom two days a week, and my mom would usually watch her 4 to 6 hours a day, I think. Something like that. Or that's the time I would get as far as productivity time for me to work, because by the time I drove her to my parents, or were able to meet up with them and pick her up and drop her off, and then get to work or get to the office, or get to a computer, that was usually the chunk of time that I had. And also, the other thing that I always considered, and I consider now, is how much time the baby is away from me, because I'm the mom. Like, I don't want to be away from my baby for 8 hours, 10 hours a day. I know some people have to do that, and certainly I don't judge that. But me personally, I want to keep it at about 4 hours, especially at this stage, because he's 8 months old. So in order to do that, I need to work while they sleep. And the most consistent sleep time right now for my baby is from about 8 p.m., 8:30 sometimes, little turkey, sometimes 7:30, but it's usually around 8 to about 7, and sometimes it's even as early as like 6:30, 6 o'clock. He's just like up and screaming or yelling. He doesn't scream, he just kind of yells like, hey, get in here. Especially now that the sun is coming up earlier. So it's like he knows like, oh, the sun's up, so now it's time to get up earlier. So I've had to adjust based off of when he gets up and when I need to get my daughter ready for school. So my goal is to get him in bed by 8 and a very good, successful sleep for the baby is he gets up and out of bed around 7 or 7:30. So that allows me to budget my time in the morning if I really need to get something done, and I need some more processing time or some more, I do insurance for a living, so there's lots of math. I need to be accurate. I need to be precise. There's certain things that if I'm interrupted, it just stops the whole process and I have to start over again. So having that morning time for serious projects involving clients, I absolutely need that uninterrupted time. So, and my brain like I said, works best in the morning after a cup of coffee. So sometimes I have to wake up at 3:30 and then work 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, so about 3.5 hours on a project. If I wake up at, usually 3, because it takes me about a half an hour to brush my teeth, get a cup of coffee, brush my hair or wash my face, take the dogs out, about 30 minutes, depending on, if I have to film a video. So I don't just film videos for this sort of content, which is newer for me. I also film videos for my clients who have open enrollment meetings or some sort of a presentation I need to do on insurance, educational presentation, or employee communication, something like that. So I need it quiet. I need to look professional. I need to make sure that no naked kids are running in on the call in the background or something like that, which has happened to me before with my daughter when she was like 2 or 3, 4 in there. Oh gosh. And dogs interrupting. I think everybody's used to that now, but anyway, so that morning time is my time. Like I said, I can get about 3 hours. I'm not always able to wake up at 3:30 because mommy needs sleep too. And like I said, one of my priorities is health. So I've got health, family, and business. Those are my 3 things that I focus on right now. And other things matter, but I can't prioritize them. Those are my 3 top priorities. So if I need more sleep, sometimes I don't get that morning time in. And because, like, for example, sometimes we get sick and we need to sleep a little bit more, or I've hurt myself recently in the gym as a result of being a mom and going through a pregnancy, and my back and my hips aren't exactly where they used to be, and I had a SI joint issue, so I had to take some time off, and I can even talk about that maybe in a separate video, like what moms go through and what I've gone through recently with my pregnancies and what that was like as someone who really prioritizes fitness and health and wellness, and getting back into gaining function over my body again. That might be a really good topic, and I can certainly do another video on that. But my point is, sometimes I need more sleep, and I'll allow myself that. So a good day, I'm up between 3:30 and 5. 5:30, that's probably a pretty light day, because at least at minimum, I can get through some emails. I can do some organization in my inbox, because my inbox gets way out of control. And I can write, I can journal for a minute, gather my thoughts, and create kind of the daily punch list. What I'm going to delegate, what I'm going to do, and get a game plan for the day. How much time is that going to take me? You know, where am I going to get that done in my day? And so on. And look at my calendar, make sure that I know all the meetings that are on my calendar so that I don't space it, because I am blonde and, you know, I have been through periods in my life. I have ADD and I'm a mom and I have all these excuses in the world, but I have spaced meetings before, and it's very embarrassing and it's so frustrating. So that's one of the practices that I have, is looking at my calendar every single morning. So I need that time to, okay, this is what you need to do today, Melissa. This is what you've committed to, and make sure all that gets done. So I usually wake up on work days, between 3:30 and 5:30, have my cup of coffee, do my journaling super fast, just look at my calendar, organize my thoughts and my emails, and get to work. And I need usually about an hour to do that. I can do it in about a half an hour, but usually an hour or two, depending on how bad my email inbox is, to at least get a handle on it. Then obviously it's time to take the kid, get the kid ready. I've got a child in first grade. I need to get her up, get her ready, get her hair brushed, make sure she's dressed, make sure she has shoes, make sure she has something to eat, all of the normal mom stuff. And get the baby up, change the diaper, get him dressed, put everybody in the car, take the kid to school. Then it's just me and the baby. And it's like, okay, what do I do with you? What do we do? And sometimes the baby falls asleep in the car. And on those days lately, I have been bringing my laptop, and I will work away on my laptop and get some projects done there. The other kind of model I use in that time is, if the baby is not asleep or doesn't want to take a morning nap, I'll usually go to the gym. And I'll go to the gym and work out, do something, and sometimes even get some work done. I have a Lifetime Fitness membership, and I will use that for dropping the baby off. I get 2 hours of childcare, and sometimes I don't even work out. Sometimes I just go in there, get a little something to eat, get a cup of coffee, go to their work area, sit down and work. Maybe do a little sauna if I have time, and that's it. And I have multiple gym memberships. One thing that's probably my number one recommendation to moms is get a gym membership with a kids club that you're comfortable with. I do like Lifetime because there's no screens and they have active activities with the kids. So some of the kids clubs, most of the kids clubs are like 24-hour fitness and LA Fitness and a lot of the big box gyms. There are people there that are watching your child, and then they have different rooms. They'll have like a game room, a theater room, a basketball court, a general play area, sometimes an outside play area, and like a theater room. And the kids are free to choose what activity they want to do, which is great. But at a certain age, like my 6-year-old, all they want to do is go on the video games or go watch a movie at the theater. And they might get some general interaction with some other kids, but they're not really active the whole time that you're active. It's almost like being at home. And I don't know about you, but my 6-year-old, every time I'm home with her, I'm constantly fighting with her about how much time she's spending on television or on the laptop playing games. And with me being distracted with the baby, oftentimes because he's crawling around, I don't always catch her sneaking off to like turn on a TV and all that kind of stuff. So I do like that I can evacuate the home, drive to Lifetime, drop her off, and they will do basketball, they do gymnastics, they do art. There's 5 or 6 different structured activities they will do every hour on the hour with the kids, depending on their age group. And for the babies, they have a separate baby area that has dim lights and baby swings and baby toys on the floor, and they won't change diapers, but whatever, no big deal. So it's a separate baby area, I think until like 18 months, and then they move them to like a toddlery kind of an area. But there's no TV in there, where other kids clubs at big box gyms, they'll have like a TV in the baby area. And sometimes, even if I ask them not to put the baby, you know, I don't care if the baby sees haphazardly screens, you know, in the background or whatever. But, you know, they plop the baby in like a seat or whatever, and like the screen is like this far, like a big screen TV, and the baby's like, like, oh my gosh, no, like we don't need to do that. It's not necessary. So either the baby's tired and they don't need that extra stimulation. It's like TV is just so stimulating for little baby minds, and it teaches the mind to require more dopamine, which can, I believe, again, I'm not a doctor or anything, but from what I understand, it can basically, so ADD, ADHD, addiction, like they're like dopamine seeking behaviors. So your brain is wanting more dopamine than it's getting. So I think it's called, like, I think some neuroscientists refer to it as like a dopamine deficiency. So if you are, I don't know a whole lot, but just thinking about it logically, is if you're getting the baby addicted to getting dopamine externally through this like screen, it will cause them to seek out more dopamine because they're not able to get that much dopamine that fast from anything in our natural environment. So that's kind of how I understand it. I'm probably totally wrong, but I just know it's not great. I know that there's a lot of studies out there about brain health, and there's some links to ADD and screens, and I'm sure there's some with like social media and phones and stuff too, but I digress. My point is, I try to limit screen time as much as I can. I'm not perfect. I mean, there's certainly been times where, especially with my first, I'm like, look, mommy's on a Zoom call, sit here and watch Netflix. If you need something, you need to wait till mommy's done with Zoom. Mommy loves you very much. Mommy would rather be in here playing with you, but I have to do this thing. If you leave me alone, I will give you a piece of candy. You know, you're just like desperate. I have to do this like meeting, you know? Been there, done that. I'm not saying I'm never going to do that again. It's just trying to find ways to do it better and give myself resources and different templates to plug into my day when I can. Obviously, okay, yeah, if it has to come to that, it's going to come to that. If I've, you know, tried to do all these things and have all these resources and all of them have fallen through, you know, it's like, okay, I got to throw them in front of the TV and let's go. But my point is, that's a resource that I have been using a lot lately, is the gym and Lifetime in particular for the baby and for my daughter, because they stay active the entire time versus a big box gym. So it's one of the number one things that if a mom comes to me and asks me, what I do and, why do my arms look like this? It's usually a compliment about my arms. I had to take off the jacket, and I was talking about my arms anyway, and then I was thinking about, starting to sweat with the jacket on. But yeah, so I get a compliment on my arms and they'll ask me what I do. And I usually start, oh, you're a mom, like get a gym membership. I mean, they watch the big box gyms that it's like $25 a month. They'll watch your kids for 2 hours a day. Sometimes you can take them in the morning for 2 hours and in the afternoon for another 2 hours. Some of them do that. So like if you absolutely need it, a total of 4 hours. And some of them have work areas, some of them don't, but even if you don't use it for work, I think every mom needs that break. I remember when my daughter, I had to wait for her to be 6 months old to take her to kids club, and I was like chomping at the bit to get back to the gym. I was just dying. So I take her in, and like, I want to say the first couple of weeks I didn't even work out, hardly. I would just walk around with my coffee and sip on it and talk to people and maybe lay down, do a couple stretches. I'd go in the locker room and take a shower and wash my hair and like blow dry my hair and like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. So just that break, even if you're not working and you just need a couple, an hour or even. And I did start, but both my kids, sounds like I have like 10. To me, it feels like 10. But I take the kid, with Ava, I think I started out with like 30 minutes the first time, maybe 45, and then worked up and did an hour, then hour 15, hour 30. I worked up to the 2 hours. And same with the baby. I've done the same with him. I didn't just throw him in there for 2 hours. I kind of went, tried I think with him, I did it first an hour and then went to, started going a little bit longer. So number one resource for every mom, I believe, my number one recommendation for me is a gym membership. It's absolutely amazing with a kids club. And hiring a sitter to come over on a regular basis to the house. I do 5 to 6 hours at a time. The baby's at my house, so 4 to 5, sometimes 6 hours at a time. For the 6 hour days, I do try to take a break, or I do take breaks, but my husband works from home as well, and we take the time and try to come in and hold the baby, after every couple of hours, say hi to him, interact with him, let him know that we're here. It's in our house. It's a place he's familiar with. So we really, really like that. It's worked out really well. And I do that usually anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week, depending on what's going on. And between me waking up early in the morning, doing work at that time, which for me, I absolutely need, because I need time right when I wake up. That's when my brain works best. That's when I do math best. That's when I do my best work. So I have to get that time in. That's for me. Some people do better at night, like my husband's a night person. So his times after about 8 p.m. at night, he'll sit down and do emails and work on the computer a little bit. He's better at that sort of stuff in the evening. And I know a lot of people like that, and that's totally fine. It's just for me, I need the morning, and then the rest of the time I need to work is filled in with the nanny or random naps, like I said, in the car. And sometimes on the way to the gym, baby will fall asleep and I'll be in the parking lot just. So having a laptop as a resource is an absolute must. It's been a must since before I had the kids, but definitely after I've had the kids. And buy a nice one. That's what The first one I bought was pretty, it was good. It was like middle of the row, but this one that I have currently, like, spare no expense, get the screen and, monitor extender. Like, I have 2 screens, I can go on there. I'm almost as efficient with that thing as I am with my desktop. So that's very, very important to me. Being mobile and it allows me the flexibility. So I have less reasons why I can't get something done with all of those resources. Now, sometimes shit just goes sideways. Sometimes it just does, and it sucks, but that's life, right? So my daughter might be, like, I've had instances where my daughter's sick and she's home and I can't have the sitter come over, maybe because the baby's sick too, or the sitter gets sick, and she can't come over. And then, like, I can't go to kids club with 2 sick kids. So I've just got to be at home all day with a sick kid and then eventually a sick baby. And then if the baby's sick, like, the nanny does, or the sitter doesn't want to come over. So, yeah, all those things happen and it sucks and it doesn't go as planned, but having these resources and these tools that I've built into my life have helped me be consistent with my productivity and my output and my mental health and my fitness. It's helped me stay relatively consistent. Am I as consistent as I would be without a baby? I don't know, probably, like, on some level, I'm more disciplined because I don't have the ability to just say, fuck it, I'm not getting up today. Like, I probably did that more when I was pre-kids, is I would probably take more, like, just, I don't want to today is kind of, where with kids, it's like, oh, I have to get up. It's like, I'm probably more consistent as far as me getting out of bed and going and putting forth effort into the world is probably more consistent than pre-kids. So I don't know that I would get more done without kids. It's also forced me to hire people to help me. Prior, I would hold on to tasks and not delegate nearly as much as I wanted to. And my thought was, people are a pain in the ass. They're not going to do it as good as me. And people suck and I don't want to train them. That was kind of like, I don't want to manage them. It was kind of my thinking. And now, like, I've had to do it. Like, there's just no way. Like, while I was pregnant and, like, having a baby, like, I had to have people help me. Like, I can't be in labor and, like, on a Zoom call. So it's forced me to learn how to be a better manager and learn how to teach other people better, be a better trainer, and be better at hiring good people, seeing the difference between someone who's just got a pulse and someone who is good and competent and wants to learn and wants to be a part of what you're doing. So that's been really, really great. And it's also forced me to think outside the box as far as resources go. The first time I went to the gym and didn't work out and just worked on my computer, it was awkward. I thought, what a weirdo, like, who takes their kids and, like, just works at the gym? But, so you just got to do what you got to do. And after doing it for maybe about 5 times, I was, like, over it, like the little weird feelings of walking into the gym and not working out or not even being in workout clothes and just going there. Worrying about other people's judgment, like, of that went away, I think. Might come back, who knows. Then the other thing is, like, I've been obsessing on like robot vacuums. So with a baby, it's like trying to find someone to clean my house that isn't like $1 million and that does a good job and shows up consistently. I've had a hard time finding someone. And I haven't had enough time to vacuum my house. So we live in a 4,000 square foot house. Never thought I'd have a house this big. Not complaining, but kind of am in a sense. We wanted about a 2,000 square foot house with a 4-car garage and a shop, and that wasn't available because my husband shops by garage space and shop space, which has been very interesting for every single real estate agent that we've had, and I apologize to all of the real estate agents that have worked with us. I've been in situations where I find the house I like, it's in the perfect area, and my husband's got the tape. And we don't even go inside the house because he's measuring if his truck will fit in the garage. It's like, fuck. It's like such a good deal and all this stuff. But, oh yeah, sure enough, like the door's not tall enough. It's like, or it's like an inch off on depth because he's got like a long bed, fucking lifted, whatever. I cannot tell you how many houses we bought because, or not bought because something didn't fit in the garage. It's crazy. But anyway, it's been 20 years with this man, so here we are. And so we needed a 4-car garage with a shop. And of course, there were no houses that were like 2,000 square foot with a 4-car garage and a shop. The one that we found was 4,000 square foot with a 4-car garage and a shop. So here I am, having to figure out how to keep the house clean. And I'm like, fuck, vacuuming takes so long. And I have a dog and I love my dog. He's a cattle dog. And trying to figure out, I was doing Swiffering every day and that was working for a while. And now it's just like, there was a couple of days where I didn't even have time for that. And the hair drives me crazy. So I'll like look at the floor and I'll just like be walking around. Like I'm in the middle of something. I'm like, God, I gotta do, like, it's just like a splinter in my brain. Like I'm looking at it now. Want to get that done. So I've been working on robot vacuums and assessing which one's the best and trying different ones out and returning ones I don't like and watching YouTube videos on robot vacuum reviews. And so my point is, that is one of my solutions for gaining consistency and saving me time. So the thing that takes me the most in cleaning my house are the floors. If I can solve that problem, the rest isn't as big of a deal. Like cleaning the toilets, big deal. It doesn't take a long time. Cleaning the sinks doesn't take a long time. Doing a quick scrub on the bathtub or the shower. My husband is also very, very clean, and he will help me with like scrubbing the showers and the tubs and stuff like that. So not as worried about that if I can get rid of the problems of the floors and have that done every day, it would save me a lot of time. And I don't want to spend the money on having somebody come and clean my house every day. So the robot vacuums, I thought that they were super expensive, and come to find out, like Shark makes a vacuum for like $250. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And it worked. And then my brain went, oh, they make vacuums, robot vacuums that mop too. And so I got a robot vacuum that mops and vacuums. And there's just nothing out there that's really that great that I found. So I keep trying different ones, like, oh, there has to be better. There has to be one that's got this down. And there's some of them, like, it's driving me crazy because there's some of them with features that I really like. And then, like, the tech is it gets stuck everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it'll do a good job mopping, and then the software that's built into the AI that they're trying to build into the robot is like, short-circuiting if something's in the wrong spot, and it doesn't vacuum consistently or mop consistently. It kind of wanders and like gets stuck and like flips itself over on weird stuff. And Anyway, I've got this whole drama about which vacuum and which mop I'm gonna get. So pretty much determined that I like the Matrix Clean of the Shark vacuum. I'm trying the Eureka, and I'm finally trying Roomba as well, because my thought with Roomba is, hey, they've been around the longest. They probably have figured a lot of this stuff out. So I'm gonna try that one next. Don't worry, I'm not gonna make a YouTube like channel about vacuum stuff. I've been watching Just a Dad on YouTube. He seems to have like gone over every vacuum under the sun, which, yeah, there's so many. It's like crazy. And it wasn't even, so my point is, like, the whole robot vacuum thing, it didn't even occur to me like to go down that path, because I thought that they were like really expensive for some reason. And then one day, so I just didn't even consider it. Didn't even look, didn't even search. And then all of a sudden I'm on the Costco app, and and I'll talk about that too, like how I save time with shopping. And I'm in there and I see, oh, there's a Roomba in here for $350. I'm like, they're $350? That's how much I have to pay someone to even just like vacuum and mop my house and like clean a couple of, bathrooms. If it pays, if I can get a year out of that thing, I'm saving money, right? Like, wow. So this monetarily actually makes sense. So that's when I went down this path. And so I've been evaluating which one's the best, and because I don't want to buy a shitty one. And that's just how I roll. So then the other thing that I do as a mom to save me time is avoid the grocery store. So the only reason I'll go to the grocery store is because I want to. Sometimes I want to just shop, just wander around and look at the things, and it's relaxing. And if I buy a couple of things I don't need, whatever, that's a leisurely, it's the same for me as like maybe like going to the park with the kids, or letting Ava pick out something at the store. That's the only reason I'll go to the store. I don't go to the store because I need to, or because that's just what I do every week. I would waste at least 3 hours a week on grocery shopping if I went to the store for all the things. So my resources there are my Costco app, same day delivery with Instacart. So Costco does not have delivery for individuals. I think they do for business, but not for like personal households. So they partnered with Instacart. If you buy an Instacart membership through Costco, they give you a discount. You do have to pay the $75 a year for Instacart. However, you get a discount on your Costco order. So it ends up working out. I might end up spending a couple, like let's say $5 on delivery. Saves me from going to Costco. If I go to Costco, I will be there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I will buy $200 extra stuff that I do not need. So it actually saves me money, it saves me time, because when I'm in there, I get decision fatigue and ADD kicks in, and Ava wants this thing and she's going this way, and I'm losing track of her, and I can't remember what's on my list, and I can't look it up, and it's too much. It's too much energy and time. So that's what I do with Costco, Instacart app with Costco. And like I said, maybe it like basically pays for itself, but maybe with delivery, it's like an extra like a couple of dollars usually. Then I do basically Safeway app pickup. So instead of having them deliver, I found that it's better to just go pick it up, curbside pickup. Or on their app. Again, I get to shop the deals. And see which brand makes the most sense for me, make a logical decision. Whereas if I'm in the store and the kids are bugging me, I'll just grab whatever. And then sure enough, I'll leave and I forget something. So it's a way for me to be more organized and ordered about, and then you can see what you've ordered in the past, and like it's just easier on there. Then I schedule a pickup and I go and pick it up. And then also I use Uber Eats because they often have coupons on there for Sprouts and some other grocery stores. And I mostly use Sprouts because Sprouts seems to have like the best deals on milk, and we drink a ton of milk between me and like coffee and my kids. Like everybody drinks milk, so their milk will be like $3 and something cents, and everywhere else will be like $5-6. So I'll order from there, and there's a couple other things that are at Sprouts that aren't at regular grocery stores, and like these specialty protein chips that I like from Wild. That's like a treat for me, and I'll eat those, and some other stuff. Enlightened ice cream, some places don't have that for whatever reason. Most places have Halo Top but don't have Enlightened, and there's like the taste. I mean, I'll eat Halo Top, but I like Enlightened flavoring better. It's a little bit more calories, but I think it tastes better. You have to let it thaw though. You have to let it like soften, because it's like a harder ice cream straight out of the freezer versus Halo Top. You can kind of like eat Halo Top right out of the freezer, but Enlightened, like you do have to let it soften for like 3-5 minutes, I think, and then it's good. So I'll do that. Oh, it's kind of like my special treat over there. And that's what I do. Those are like the 3 kind of like ordering what I need strategies with grocery. I usually do it every week to every couple of days. Lately, I've been doing it every 3 days because I've found that if I try to order all the food I need for a whole week, I forget what I have, and then I like waste more food. So if I do it every about 3 days, I can plan like meals like 3 days out. If I plan the whole week out, I tend to like not eat food that's like a week old. I'll usually eat food that I know some people do, and I know like meal prep, blah, 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 but it just doesn't taste as good. Like I feel like the 3-day mark is kind of like, after that, I'm a little bit like, I don't know. It doesn't look as enticing now. So I've been more consistent with the 3 days. I think that's it for now. So those are like my strategies to like leveraging my time, being a mom, spending maybe a little bit extra money on some things like a gym membership, kids club, Instacart, ordering online, having things delivered. These are all things that are out of the robo vacuum. Oh my gosh, I'm such a mom, like complaining about my robo vacuums. This is my life now. Like at some point, like, oh my God, the older me, like the younger me would think I'm so lame and I'm such a loser, but these are the things that adult women like myself worry about, like think about. And hiring help, hiring somebody to come over, give you a break. So thank you for hanging out until the end. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.